What's up, y'all? It's your boy J Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment, and we about to get into this week's boxing talk. Floyd Money Mayweather made his final fight announcement when he chose two-time welterweight champion Andre Berto. Now, a lot of people on social media are very upset with this decision to fight Berto. There's a lot of disappointment from the boxing fans, and I'm not going to sit up here and be a Floyd Mayweather hater because I'm not a hater. Basically, I am definitely not a Floyd Mayweather fan, but I do respect this man as the best pound-for-pound fighter today. Is he TBE? No, he is not. He is not the greatest fighter ever, the best ever like he likes to call himself. He will be going down as one of the best and greatest fighters of all time. There's no question about that. This guy is a 11-time world champion who has won titles in 5 different weight classes. And in a career of 19 years as a professional, he has basically dominated the sport and hardly even lost a round in his career. I mean, the guy is a very good fighter, a very good, special, talented fighter. But a lot of people question the people that he has faced. He has a solid resume. He's going to go into the Hall of Fame as a first-round ballot. That's definite. But a lot of people like to say that he fought guys that weren't at their best. They weren't at the top of their game when he fought them. And to some of that extent, it's true. Now, Floyd basically is a victim of politics and also the business of boxing. You know, a lot of people like to say he didn't fight Antonio Margarito. He didn't fight Miguel Cotto when Cotto was on top. He didn't fight Manny Pacquiao at his prime. You know, those fights are true, but they don't look at the deeper side of things. Floyd Mayweather has not fought anyone a part of Bob Arum top-ranked stable since 2006 till now, 2015. All those years, he's not faced one Bob Arum fighter. And anybody that Al Heyman has managed, which is Floyd Mayweather's advisor and manager, has not done any business with Bob Arum over those years. So there hasn't been any fight made between those two companies. So there's a lot of things in the background that people just don't want to understand and don't want to hear because they say he's scared. He never wanted to face these guys. Let me tell you something. These guys, all of them, are professional athletes. They train their body through months of torture just to get into the best shape possible, to get into the square ring, to face one another and punch each other's heads. Now, I don't think there's fear in fighting. Is there nervousness? Of course. Every fighter has admitted nervousness. Mike Tyson, Oscar De La Hoya, all these great fighters have admitted to being nervous stepping into the ring. But an actual fear of another fighter, I don't think so. I mean, this guy Floyd Mayweather is an 11-time world champion that has won titles in 5 different weight classes. He's a first-round Hall of Famer. You know, this guy will go down as one of the very best of his era. And I respect him on his boxing skills. A lot of people say he's a runner. This guy likes to hold. And part of that is definitely true. He has ran in fights. He has held also in fights. That's his fighting style. That's always been his fighting style. He moves, he grabs, he throws pop shots. He's not a big puncher. He's had hand problems early in his career. He loves to use the jab, and he uses a lot of defense with that shoulder roll, making guys miss, making guys pay. But through all in all the men that he has faced in his career, these guys have not been able to crack and beat him. Now, a lot of people will say Jose Luis Castillo won that first fight, and I have to agree. I believe Castillo won that fight. But just like in boxing, we've had a lot of robberies, a lot of bad decisions. It's been throughout the years of history of boxing that we've had bad decisions. So it's not going to stop now. You know, the only credit that I give Floyd Mayweather is for giving that man a rematch because he know deep in his heart he lost that fight. Floyd Mayweather doesn't give rematches, and he gave Castillo a rematch, and he proved in the rematch that he was the better fighter by outboxing him and winning a clear-cut decision after 12 rounds. Now, boxing goes on, and he went on to win those world titles in different weight classes. I don't think he ducked anybody except one person. In the 140-pound weight division, early in his career, I think he ducked Constant Tszyu. There was no excuse to make that fight. That fight should have happened. And Constant Tszyu was the best at the junior welterweight division. He made a quick stop at the junior welterweight division and fought the weakest champion in the division when he fought Arturo Gatti. After that, he went straight up to the welterweight division and beat guys like Zab Judah on a loss. He fought Carlos Boltemir because Boltemir was the one that defeated Judah and was the welterweight champion of the division. He fought Oscar De La Hoya at 154 pounds. I give him credit for that. De La Hoya was the bigger man. De La Hoya was not a shot fighter, and De La Hoya was still a solid champion. And Floyd won a close decision in that fight because he pulled away in the last 4 rounds because the first 8 was competitive with De La Hoya. But I believe Floyd definitely won that fight against De La Hoya. I mean, he didn't fight Miguel Cotto until Miguel Cotto became free of his contract with Top Rank. And the very first fight, 6 months later, he fought Floyd Mayweather and had the best fight in Floyd Mayweather's career up to the Castillo fight. I mean, Cotto definitely put on the best performance and the toughest fight for Floyd Mayweather. But Floyd won that fight hands down. There's no argument about that. I remember HBO saying that Marcos Maidana was a horrible mismatch, and everybody agreed. But then Marcos Maidana even gave a better fight and a better performance than Miguel Cotto did. It was an exciting fight, an entertaining fight. He pushed Mayweather to the limit. But Mayweather still won that fight. Some people called it a draw. I called it a victory for Mayweather. And he could have walked away from that fight, but he gave Maidana a rematch. I give him credit for that. And in the rematch, he definitely ran in that fight. There's no question about it. He didn't want to face the punching power. But he definitely beat Marcos Maidana. Whatever people might say, you know, he finally fought Manny Pacquiao after 5 years when he got everything that he wanted. People don't understand the business of boxing. About 5 years ago, in 2010, there was no way that this fight was going to make over $500 million. This fight was much bigger 5 years later than it was back in 2009 or 2010. And it was more of a 50-50 fight back then. Mayweather chose to fight Manny Pacquiao because he had all the leverage in the world. He got everything he wanted. Him and Al Heyman was able to dictate terms at the negotiation table and be controller, sole controller, majority controller of this whole entire fight. They were the promoters, they handled the tickets, and they got the majority of the money. He made $220 million. He was not getting that money 5 years ago. So that's the reason why this fight happened. And the fight didn't live up to the hype. It didn't live up to expectations. You know, Manny Pacquiao didn't perform the way we all hoped that he performed. I went for Manny Pacquiao. I wanted Manny Pacquiao to win. I've chosen everyone that Mayweather has fought in the ring against him to beat him. But he's proved everyone wrong. He is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. There's no question about it. And he will be a Hall of Famer. Now, this fight with Andre Berto is a disappointment to all boxing fans. Andre Berto has won 3 fights out of his last 6 opponents. I mean, this guy was beaten by Victor Ortiz in a great fight. Against Robert Guerrero, this man was manhandled and beaten senseless, that both of his eyes were swollen shut. And against Soto Karass, he was knocked out in the 12th and final round. This man is not deserving of a